And now with the latest for May 15th around the wide world of tropics. Here's your tropical weather bulletin. Hello, on the universal clock we have entered May the 15th, 2019, and here's our first look of the first day of the Eastern Pacific hurricane season. But the activity, what little activity we have around the world right now, is off the coast of Australia. Extratropical or post-tropical cyclone Anne is moving inland. In the Atlantic, nothing's going on there, of course. Season starts June the 1st. East Pacific, it is day one of hurricane season. The first name will be Alvin, but there's no sign of him yet, or indeed anytime soon. Down in the Western Pacific, 93W, an invest is currently situated in the central part of the Western Pacific there, and X-Ann is making landfall pretty much as we speak over the Cape York Peninsula of Australia. So here is a look at ex-tropical cyclone Anne. Not extratropical, but a remnant low, and there it is just off the coast, 42 miles from Lockhart in Queensland, 13.2 south, 143.8 degrees east. This is what we expect over the next few days. Its track will move it towards the northwest, grazing through the northern part of the Australian top end, and then ending up somewhere near East Timor by the end of the week. What is left of the remnant of that system? Very little, I should imagine. Satellite imagery around the world. Here is the Atlantic, looking very quiet, as you can see here. Chances starting to fade for a pre-season start, but it could happen. Here's the Gulf of Mexico, some thunderstorms moving off towards the east there at low latitude. The East Pacific is looking pretty quiet right now, very little going on even down in that tropical zone. Shifting west there, not much going on in the central part of the Pacific, but of course I don't think we'd expect that. The Western Pacific, you can see that big blow up of convection there, that's Invest 93W. Now on the right hand side of the screen there, it's just not too far from Chuuk to the north of there in Micronesia. Here's Australia. You can see Anne, what's left of Anne there, the last firing up of convection, and the Indian Ocean is looking fairly quiet. There is a little system there off Agalega. The northern side of the Indian Ocean also looking very quiet. Sea surface temperatures then, as you can see, warming up nicely over there in the Eastern Pacific, 30 degrees plus at lower latitudes. Same for parts of the Atlantic, especially the Western Caribbean, 28 or 29 degrees Celsius. The open Atlantic, of course, will take a little bit longer to warm up. Look at the Indian Ocean, massive swathes of 30 degrees plus. You can still see the upwelling trail from Fanny last week, and you can see the Western Pacific pretty warm as well, 29, maybe even nudging 30 degrees underneath the Invest. Here is ex-tropical cyclone Anne, partially exposed circulation, if indeed it is a circulation, hard to tell looking at that visible imagery. This is the infrared channels, and you can see that burst of convection that occurred in the last few hours just before this system makes the landfall. If that convection does blow up as it makes landfall, we could be seeing significant amounts of rain falling, especially displaced to the south of X-Ann. Invest 93W isn't affecting any major land masses right now. It's just about at a safe distance north of Chuuk, Micronesia. Guam up there towards the top left hand side of the screen, and the system is likely to move slowly towards the northwest or west-northwest without intensifying very much, if at all. So these are your names for the upcoming season. We've had 25 storms so far, averaging 91 storms per year on average, and you can see the Atlantic and East Pacific naming lists there, as well as the Central Pacific. Andrea is the first storm in the Atlantic this year. In the Western Pacific, we've had Pabuk and Wutip already, and in the North Indian Ocean, the next storm on that naming list is Vayu. Of course, that's not all of the names in the Westpac list there, that's just the first lot that we're looking at as we enter this year. The Australian region, we've just entered list 5 with Anne. Blake is the next name, the Southwest Indian Ocean. If we get a storm before the end of June, Maipelo is the next storm, and Fiji has its next storm name, Rita. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron. You can see more information about all the benefits involved by visiting patreon.com/Force13. You can also contact me on Discord. It's Fool13 at extension 9094 and Force13 on Skype. You can also find our server link to our Discord server for tropical weather chat in our description.